Hi there, in this Premiere Pro video we're going to stitch a video that has really bad audio like this.
Now I'm going to give you
Sounds like I'm in the toilet with good audio.
every single design tip and trick that.
Sounds a lot nicer. Okay, and we're going to show you how to do that automatically in Premiere Pro using something called Multicam. Okay, so first up let's import our audio and video. And let's go to File, Import, or Command-I or Control-I on a PC. And it's Talking Head 4. Okay, there's an MP3, which is the audio, and the MP4, which is video. Let's click Import. Okay, where are they? They're kind of in different little bits. What you can do sometimes if they don't reorder, I like them alphabetically, click on the word name. Okay, and yeah, they'll be stacked in by name. Now, let's have a quick preview of these. Now, remember we're on our fix control, but if we double click it down here, okay, it'll go back to our source or preview video. Okay, and this is just audio, so there's some weird bits going on.
Now I'm going to give you
okay, and let's look at the video version. Okay, so it looks very similar. The camera does its weird thing, but let's listen to me talk.
Now I'm going to give you every single.
See, sounds like I'm talking in the toilet. That is because I'm recording the video on my camera and the audio on my camera. The audio on my camera is terrible. So what I do is I have a separate microphone, okay, and I record that microphone straight into my laptop. Why? Because the camera audio is really bad, the microphone. So it's one of the first things you need to do if you're doing corporate stuff is that you probably need to invest in a microphone. Reach out to me on any of the comments pages if you are interested in microphones and what you should do. There are a couple of options you can work with depending on what stuff you're shooting. But anyway, I want to stitch these two together. Now it's pretty easy to do. One of the things that have to happen is that even though I've got my MP3 recorded separately, I've also got audio, even though it's really bad, on my camera. Don't turn that off, okay? Because that's how it matches it together. It matches the waveforms, and so the audio on both tracks get matched up. So select both of them. I'm holding Shift and clicking one, hold Shift and click the other one. Okay, and we're going to right click either of them, and there's one called Create Multi-Camera Source Sequence. Okay, it's called Multicam. Let's click it. Gonna give it a name and leave it as the default. Okay, we'll rename it in a second. Cool, so what happens is that this gets left on the timeline and those two things we had selected called the MP4 and the MP3 gets jammed into this thing. Okay, so this bin's been created for us, or this folder, and there's the two things we just had selected a second ago. That gets filed in there because we don't need them anymore. Don't delete them, but they're just hidden in there. What's left is this thing called a multicam track. Okay, so what we're going to do is that it has a really bad name. It's called Talking Head 4 MP4, and there's a stuff jammed at the end. So we're going to double click the words, and let's call this one Talking Head 4, but instead of MP4 at the end here, we're going to call this one Good Sound. Or something else. Okay, it's probably not a great name, but look at this icon. It's different from all the rest of them we've made. Sequences, videos, that's a little icon for our multicam track. Cool, and we just add it like a video now. Okay, so what we need to do is drag it across. I'm gonna add it after this. Cool, scroll along a little bit. Actually, I'm gonna hit the backslash key, and we're gonna add some weird bits. You see my timeline, it's all black. Okay, it's black, 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 and then eventually I start. It's because the audio started differently. Okay, so it's added it. Let's have a little look. You can right click this down here and go to this one that says open on timeline. Don't do this. I just want to show you kind of what's happening in the background. Okay, we've gone inside that Good Sound. You can kind of see it's, I've got the audio track, which actually played for a lot longer, and then the video started a little bit later on. It's just because I turned the mic on my separate special good mic, and then I turn the camera on second. So there's a bit of time lapse, but it's lined them up pretty well. Let's have a look.
I'm going to give you every single.
Nice. And what it's done is, can you see this M here? It's muted the camera track because it's the bad track. Somehow magically it knows which track to use. And yeah, it's lined them all up. So I'm going to close that down. And what we end up with is this kind of like stuck together group, making it easier to work with. Now that's why it's black at the beginning, and then eventually that starts. And we're going to do our just regular editing. So I'm going to get my playhead to where I want. I'm going to drag this end part. I'm going to click the center, delete it, get to the end.
Beautiful InDesign documents.
Hit spacebar, drag that along, and that, my friends, is how you sync good audio with bad audio and video in Premiere Pro.